Fish Fry, and I'm here with Daniel. You can introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Daniel. On the Fish Fry go by Vermilion, and yeah, we're starting to cast the bubble phase. Actually, we're jumping right into the bubble phase of this week's Goldfish Gauntlet. So we've got a couple of well-known long-time fish fryers here on the feature table. And okay, let Old Man Coffee is no, not getting called. So yeah, bubble phase pretty interesting. Yeah, you don't want to go out as the bubble, and some players tighten it up, some players take advantage. It's always interesting to see who takes what approach. Have you seen any tendencies here?
I'm just tuning in for the first time right now, so I'm excited to see what everyone's going to be doing. Just taking a look here at the rankings, we have Bobby Holiday and Die Hard with like a 2x chip lead on pretty much everyone else.
Yeah, they can
Um,
probably just chill.
Definitely, there's a lot of pressure on the short stacks here. I would imagine they're going to be picking people off, but we're going to definitely see some action here as the bubble pressure gets stronger.
I see we've got also 3 viewers on Twitch already, so whoever drops in, feel free. I'm following the chat. I'm sure Pepito's following the chat as well. We'll read your messages, come say hi, and we can answer some questions as well. Some fun facts about the players that are currently still in the tournament. So Diehard is actually ranked number 11 presently in total winnings, and Bobby Holiday, who we see not on this table but on the other table, was a tournament director at the Oaks. So pretty long poker experience, I imagine.
Oh, Bobby Holiday. I must know him actually. If
Right,
you
you're
look,
playing at the Oaks, don't you?
yeah, I know Bobby for sure. Really nice guy, and I don't play the tournaments there that often, but I definitely. Ooh, we just see a nasty cooler here.
Mm.
I believe that was top two on the flop versus a turned nut straight. Any two takes it down versus Die Hard. You got to win those to win a tournament for sure.
Yeah, can't win the tournament without those. You definitely need some good hands.
Yep. Yeah, it's fun finding out who these people are. I was just rewatching the feature table from last week, where we had Fats and
And Radical Dude.
Radical Dude, yeah, streaming, and
Commentating.
they did a great job. And just finding out that I know some of these people and whatnot was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Old Man Coffee in this hand right here is a good friend of mine. He is a professional rug dealer out of San Francisco. Really nice guy. I met in a 5-5 game in Daly City. He's a
Oh,
regular there,
interesting.
and used to be a regular at the Oaks as well. Really fun player. A lot of action. It's good to see him. We affectionately refer to him as Beater, but he recently changed his name.
Yeah, let's see. He steps at the pot. 1K. Okay, that was a cheap. That was cheap.
Yeah, I bet Die Hard just had the check fold button on.
Yeah. Yeah, so LW, you see 16 big blinds in his deck. Is that a stack size where you just, play a fold or shove strategy, or do you have a raising range here?
A raising range with 15 and above blinds, but what's funny is I just started doing some more research on short stack tournament strategy, and you can have a shoving range up to 25 blinds,
Oh wow. Yeah.
apparently, which I was totally unaware of. So
I'm gonna say people find calls in spots where you believe they wouldn't. So I definitely see, and people started doing this on the fish fry as well. Just stick it in, get the money in the middle, and people find unexpected calls sometimes.
yeah, absolutely. But then you have to wonder, is there more EV in having an opening range?
Yeah.
But There's so many factors at hand, of course.
Yeah. I definitely like I was tuning in like when there was 10 or 11 players left and Buana, BWANA, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but he was just I was impressed. He was just not afraid, like getting it in constantly, and he was surviving until very close to the bubble with a very short stack.
Yep. Yeah, one of the biggest tournament winners. I mean, a lot of the biggest tournament winners are extremely aggressive players, and when
Mm.
they have the the stack depth to avail them to be aggressive, they take advantage of it, and it works in their advantage for sure. And we see them cashing and final tabling a lot of tournaments.
Looking at our top tournament winners in June 2021 right now, actually none of the highest ranked player that's still in this tournament is actually diehard. So all the other, and he's on the 10th place, if I read that correctly, and all the other players are below that. So we're gonna get some players potentially making it into a top 10
We see a final
this
table
week.
bubble all in here. LW versus diehard. Jack's ahead of ace queen, and we get the double up. No bubble yet. I mean, we're still in the bubble.
Red Dude Chan in the Twitch chat saying, "Hey, Vermilion and HotChip, you guys taking my job?" I believe that's Dom, Radical Dude, who was commentating last week. We can start. We can start the competition. You guys did a great job last week. I'm not sure if we can live up to that this week, but we'll definitely give it a try.
Yeah, they really did a great job. I was really,
Yeah,
really entertained rewatching
yeah.
that earlier.
Yeah, still bubble phase, people being resilient and just the shorter stacks hitting their hands, which is basically all there is to it. But pretty balanced stacks overall. We see everything is between 28 and 30,000, which is very close. Let's have a quick look at the other table.
So I mean, anything could happen. Even I mean,
Yeah,
everyone's pretty even. It's pretty much anyone's game right now. But the blinds are going up quite quickly. We're at 600, 1200. The shortest stack has 17 blinds or so.
which is
Which
still pretty solid being the
definitely,
short stack.
yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't hate that.
So you've been playing in Vegas a bunch?
Yeah, yeah, I have. I went and just played a lot of cash, and obviously the World Series is coming up. I'm planning on visiting for that if I don't move out there before that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I'm more of a cash grinder than a tournament player.
Yeah.
I do love playing tournaments, truly, but I haven't spent as much time studying them, and I don't feel as confident in my tournament game as of them right now. But I'm working on it for sure.
Yeah, I think as soon as I had the same feeling. As soon as you start getting into studying some poker, getting into the GTO business, like cash games the cash game is where you would start ideally. That's where you learn a lot of the principles, a lot of the what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And then I believe it's much easier to transition to tournaments after that, but definitely recommend starting with some cash game
Yep,
theory. And
definitely
yeah,
agree.
then that's just what you do. And yeah, I've been doing that last year as well. And then I've not been playing the Fish Fry tournament for a couple of weeks because I wanted to get into the cash game. I wanted to master the cash game. But yeah, now the Saturday night Fish Fry tournament is always a highlight of the week for me, and I keep playing it.
It is incredibly fun. Honestly, the best feeling in poker is winning a tournament. There's nothing really
Yeah,
close, I don't think.
yeah.
Uh, and And the Fish Fry is a great tournament to play in, for sure. A lot of fun. A lot of fun to be able to play against the same people week after week and kind of learn their game as well.
Definitely.
But yeah, the games in Vegas are still amazing.
Oh, they are. Okay.
All right, we see an all-in on the other table from Old Man Coffee, and we get a fold. Fold around.
Yeah, this could be a longer bubble phase, given that there is no short stack of like 4 or 5 big blinds that constantly has to shove.
Yep. Yeah, I've been on the bubble for I think an hour and 15 minutes before
No.
in the Fish Fry. But Old Man Coffee is shoving
Oh
a
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
He shoves again here. He's getting a lot of food
Getting
thrown at him.
some shit thrown at him, yeah. Die Hard definitely thinking about calling here. He's
Oh,
getting
yeah.
tilted.
Maybe he's got the slow roll aces.
Nope, and
Nope.
he folds. Okay. So yeah, for the people that don't know us too, we've had a little bit of a history of rivalry on the Fish Fry in the early days of the King of the Grill, where we were battling it out week after week.
Yeah.
And I stayed King of the Grill for a couple of weeks, and then you took it and you stayed up there like for many weeks as well, right?
Yeah, I think my final score was 14-2 or 14-3, something like that.
Yeah.
And 2 of those losses were to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this, which is a pretty ridiculous score given that heads up is such a high variance, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. No, I definitely ran really, really well, and
Hmm.
there's a lot of great players, heads up players that have played since. I kind of have fallen off in the heads up game in the Fish Fry, but it seems to have been incredibly popular lately now to the point where there's always heads up tables running. People played like 50 plus heads up matches, and it's pretty cool to watch, see the people interested in that. It's a really interesting, crazy format.
Yeah, I remember it started shortly after what was it, the second or third Fish Fry Heads Up tournament, and you
Yeah.
know, having won one of those, having been King of the Grill, I thought, you know, I can just go in there, win some easy money, but man, I got my butt kicked.
Yeah. No,
Like there are good players there,
definitely.
definitely.
Yeah. I love how there's this thing where you just sit down and you just have to completely understand your opponent's game in
Yeah.
one session to exploit them
Yeah.
maximally. It's super super fun and interesting format, and obviously like if you were to study it, it goes way 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 deeper than that. But
Mhm.
there's only so much you can do when you're sitting there heads up in a tournament style heads up structure. Yeah, how long have you been playing poker, Daniel?
You know, I did my back in Germany. I did a home game with a couple of friends. You know, every couple of weeks, but nothing regular. And then when I came back to the US last September, my roommate was super into poker, and that's where I really caught interest again. Um, and we've been studying a bunch. And he's still, I mean, he's going hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, then so I had 2 or 3 months of really studying, playing a lot, and then I realized that it's such a hard game, man. You have to study so much if you really wanna get the feeling of beating the game. And yeah, then I stopped studying because I felt um, you have to spend too much time if you really want to get good. And yeah, now I'm just I play the fish fry every week. I also enjoy, oh, wait a minute,
And
we've got a
all
potential
in a
bubble
call.
here. Yeah.
Yep. Old Man Coffee shipped 8-4 for basically lower 2 pair versus top trips on the turn and got snapped by Die Hard with trip fives.
Yeah, Old Man Coffee now with 2 big blinds.
Yep.
He's gonna have a rough time.
He's got a lot of pressure on him. I mean, anything can happen. He's got chip in a chair, but it doesn't look good. All
Yeah,
right, he's shoving 2 blinds.
gets the fold. That's
Gets
very
a fold.
nice.
Yeah, no, hey,
Definitely want to
that's a
see
great
that.
result. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably be calling in a big blind there with LW stack with pretty much any 2 cards. But I understand the pressure of the bubble is
Yeah,
difficult.
the difference of giving him a big blind and doubling him up is really not much by that point. So you definitely call everything but 7-2 off.
Yeah.
Now he's in the big blind. Let's see how much pressure they put on him, or if he gets away easy.
Yeah, it's going to be tough
That's
for
where you
LW
definitely
too.
should. Yeah, that's where you definitely should open. Open small, just see what he does. If he shoves, you still have a decision to make, but there is a high chance you get a fold from Old Man Coffee.
Yeah, Die Hard
And
has a lot of leverage here with its chip stack to put the pressure on.
and Dom in the chat has snap call with any two, so he agrees with you. I don't like that from Die Hard too much here. Just
Either.
calling, you're capping your range so much, and Old Man Coffee has such an easy shove.
And yeah, you really shouldn't have any traps here either.
Yeah,
Definitely shoving is the best move, but yeah,
yeah,
limp
there you
holding just
go.
gives him an extra half a blind. It's not the best strategy.
Yeah, up to 10K again.
Oh yeah, no,
Without having to shout out anything, that's pretty good.
yeah, absolutely.
Let's see if he shoves again. No, this time he gets out. Yeah, and you can definitely see that the other players, I think they just wanna, staying tight, staying passive, just waiting until they get a good hand.
Yeah,
But
it's tough. I've been in this
taking
spot a lot,
advantage.
and I'm sure you have too, where you're on the bubble and you have a lot of
Yeah,
this pressure to just kind of fold in the money and then start making moves because somebody's much shorter than you. And it's tough. Sometimes it can flip where you're maybe second or third lowest chip stack. The bottom doubles up a couple times, and now you have this pressure on you to get it in,
yeah.
and you kind of regret not playing more aggressively. But that's the bubble for you. Oh, it looks like LW DC'd, unfortunately.
Ah, that's a bummer.
Hopefully they can get back online soon. All right, it's on to Die Hard. Old Man Coffee shipped about 8 blinds.
Holds. Yeah,
All right.
probably calling there with any ace, strong kings, maybe even weak kings. Old Man Coffee he definitely shoved a lot of hands, so I imagine his range is not too tight here.
Yeah, I'd be
Um,
really comfortable calling with probably any Queen X,
mhm.
obviously any pair. Um, yeah, you really just want that high card in your hand.
Yeah,
Because if Old Man Coffee is going to be shipping with like, suited connectors and whatever, if his range is going to be wide enough, then it's definitely be a profitable call. And Die Hard has a lot of chips to work with. It's not really going to hurt him to double up Old Man Coffee right
that's
now.
true. That's true. Okay, we see a flop. Die Hard opening, LW from the big blind. Donks. Donks all in.
Yeah.
And get the call. Wow.
All right.
That was a brave donk.
It was definitely. LW said, "I have a gutter and I'm feeling it," but
But good call from Die
and
Hard.
a great
Basically
call.
snap call
Yeah,
without hitting the flop. Yeah, very good call.
I watched a lot of that last week, where a lot of weak donks and weak calls, and it's definitely this meta game going into the final table here, where people really start to be aggressive.
Yeah. Okay, maybe let's have a quick look at all the players on the final table. Let's introduce them. We have B-Sims, we have Bobby Holiday. B-Sims being the short stack right now with about 8 big blinds, 9 big blinds. We've got Bobby Holiday in the chip lead, pretty solid chip lead there. We've got Die Hard, who just took out the final table bubble, so obviously he has a good stack behind. Old Man Coffee, or even shorter stacked, of course, with 6, 7 big blinds, and any 2.
Yeah, it looks like
And
a great
Frankie's
final
really
table.
excellent.
Congratulations to everyone who made it to the final table. It's an exciting one, for sure. And we got Die Hard and B Sims heads up. Deuce Jack 6 Rainbow. Really dry flop here. And a C-bet half from Die Hard. I'd imagine they're going to feel very committed if they call.
Yeah, so let's say you're in like any 2 spot or Frankie spot. You're not the short stack, but you're a medium stack. What's your strategy in the final table in
I
those
think my
spots?
strategy is to play relatively tight and wait for that pressure to that's kind of like um what I've learned recently is basically middle stacks are sitting around waiting
Hmm.
while the short stacks have this pressure to make a move, and the deep stacks have the advantage to put the pressure on. So when you're the middle stack, you're kind of in this limbo period in this tournament where you kind of have to play a little bit tighter.
Yeah,
And
I think it definitely depends on who's in the big blind, right? If a short stack is in the big blind, you can afford to put some pressure, but if a big stack is in the big blind, you don't really have the need to do that.
absolutely, yeah, it's not really to your advantage to play with the bigger stacks without a really strong range.
Bobby Holiday opening to getting a call from the button and getting an all in from the big blind.
It's
Old
an
Man
exciting,
Coffee.
pretty big pot here. Almost 15 blinds. Bobby Holiday just flats. I'm sure Die Hard's going to come along.
Nine three seven 2-tone. Yeah, seems like Bobby and Die Hard just wanna check it down and see who can take Old Man Coffee out potentially.
Yeah, Die Hard definitely has a huge advantage here, being on the button as well. Oh, and it's nice to turn top pair as well
Yeah.
against the dominated weak pair. We see Old Man Coffee bid farewell, and we're down to 5. Yeah, the ladder start.
Yeah, good hand. Do you like the jam from Old Man here?
Uh, how many blinds do you have? Like 7 or 8. I probably, with that much action
He
in
shot for
front of me,
2x.
yeah, with that much action in front of me, it's kind of a awkward spot. I probably just wait
Yeah.
um a little bit longer.
Yeah, I feel the same. Especially you're getting a call from the button before you make your shove. One of those 2 players is definitely gonna call, and I'm not sure how bad you want to see the call with Jack
Exactly.
8.
You don't
Yeah.
really have any fold equity for, like, you know, someone's gonna get a great price and you could have a dominated hand. It's
Yeah.
kind of a sticky situation. You're probably behind an open and a call range.
But Die Hard making another good call seems to read the situations pretty well and the players right now. Three-way pot here. Yeah, this is a spot where players basically can have everything. So you just have to play by their actions. With Die Hard definitely um, being in position, having a big advantage. I feel like being in position in these hands where players go in with such wide ranges is so much of an advantage.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, position always is just an incredible advantage, but especially in a pot like that.
Yeah, players limping a lot right now. There's not a whole lot of opening raising going on. As I say that, Die Hard is not shy.
Yeah, this low board is definitely going to favor any choose
Yeah.
limping range. We could see a big pot here.
C-bet from Die Hard though. And the shove, yeah. If you don't have an overpay here, I think yeah, he doesn't have a lot of 9x. So I think if you don't have an overpay here, you just fold.
We did see Die Hard make a pretty interesting call with the Ace King high earlier that was good, so maybe they're capable of doing it again.
Oh yeah, similar spot, Ace Queen. He makes the call this time, not successful. Queen holds.
Yep.
That was an interesting limp with the queens
Very,
pre-flop.
very. Yeah, I think I'd want to definitely be either shoving with that or if my strategy was to limp or EP, I'd definitely be back raising. But I probably just either shove or open.
Yeah.
But it worked out this time. The great result, and you got called by 2 overs. Ace Queen probably having 12% on the flop to suck out.
Mm-hmm. The pocket queens had the clubs as well. King of clubs.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it looks like Die Hard is the only player that actually has had a first place win under their belt, which is something to note.
Hmm. I think last week we saw, I believe it was the Smash who banked their first tournament win
Yeah, that
on the
was
fish fry.
exciting. Definitely.
Yeah, she took me out earlier, so I was rooting for her. um,
What happened in that hand?
it was let me think. I had ace three, and she had. Okay, I'm not gonna say what she had yet, but flop comes in ace,
Yeah.
and I wasn't too she was betting pot, and I wasn't too happy, and then the river is the third heart. But it's the three of hearts, so I have a two pair, ace three, and she jams, and a lot of times they have the flush there. But I knew the smash. She definitely likes jamming with any ace. Like when she has an ace or she has top pair, she's not shy to get it in. So I figured I just have to call, and she showed the flush, so
Yeah.
that was the hand. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, probably a good call long term if you have that knowledge of your opponent's strategy. Yeah, we see kind of
Yeah,
a big river bet here versus the couple of the biggest stacks battling, and Die Hard gets it through.
yeah. So despite losing to the big pot to any two, he got back to chip lead already. I feel like Die Hard is probably the the most aggressive player on this final table, I would say, so far. We see a lot of players liking to limp, Any2, Frankie, to an extent also Bobby Holiday. We see a lot of limping, and then B-Sims staying mostly out of the action, but Die Hard has a pretty aggressive approach so far.
Absolutely. And calling quite light as well. I think he's definitely trying
Yeah.
to get in the mix and spin it up and get heads up in the final table here for sure.
Losing another ace queen to Any2. This time on the river.
Yeah, I made a great call on the flop, and
Yep.
that four just got there on the river. And the poop being
And
thrown.
classic. Yeah, gotta throw the poops, gotta throw the roses, whatever you feel. Just throw the opponent maybe a little out of their balance. Some people definitely get tilted by that. How do you feel when someone throws a poop at you?
I think it's great.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah, I love the banter. It's
Yeah.
fun. It's all friendly. I don't
Yeah.
have any hard feelings if someone wants to throw some poop at me. You just gotta expect to get it back sometimes. Yeah, I know there's been a lot of talk in the email group about a group of us going to the WSOP this year, and that's really exciting. I hope to meet some of these people in person that I haven't met yet, and hang out with them in Vegas and talk about the fish fry and some of the bad beats that have happened here, some of the big wins that have happened here. It's been a lot of fun playing this for the last year and a half.
Yeah, that sounds like a great event. I mean, for a lot of us during the pandemic, this has probably been a major part of our social interaction, right? Playing poker every week,
Definitely.
hanging out on Zoom sometimes.
Hmm.
See a shove here from B-Sims. Bobby basically pot committed. Yeah, but you definitely called it with tens. Looking good so far. King or jack?
All right.
No.
Bobby Holiday holds, and we go down to 4. Yeah, Frankie here having some pressure now for sure, having the other 3 stacks be kind of around the same, and Any2 having a 3x chip lead, being the next shortest stack. So we're gonna have to see Frankie probably shipping here pretty soon.
Yeah, he definitely has to get more aggressive now. Let's see how well he's able to make that adjustment.
Yeah, the skill in deep stack play here comes into play so much, which is something you don't really get in tournaments too often. More so cash. So we'll see how these cash skills translate to this final table here. And then of course, like the heads up battle is just the most fun of a part of a tournament, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I really used to dislike that. I felt like it was just such a high variance coin flip situation, but there is actually a lot of skill and knowledge involved. So yeah, recently I started to enjoy it a lot.
So much you can play against some really, really wild characters. I've played
Mhm.
uh a final table on the fish fry where my opponent had like the chip lead and just shoving every hand, and how do you adjust to that is really, really fascinating.
Mhm.
All right, any 2 flopping trips here. Gets called by worse on the river.
Yeah, puts even more pressure on Frankie now. The other 3 players being well ahead of him in chips right now.
But yeah, I'd be sweating in Frankie's spot here. Hoping to just ladder once.
And Red Dude in the chat saying talking about bad beats will take more than a week. So you definitely have to book a week if you want to go to Vegas.
Right, right. Hopefully I can get a couple weeks comp, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Prices are definitely going up in Vegas
Hmm.
as we get closer to World Series.
Stab from Any2. All right. Bobby Holiday with the check raise is successful.
in
Yeah,
my
you can. Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Yeah, you can definitely. I was saying you can definitely step at those paired boards, low paired boards where you don't expect people to really hit too much. It's always worth taking a step there. I feel like.
In heads up limp pots, I do that a lot. And
Mhm.
then I'm giving away my secrets. So others can exploit me for it, but I think it's really good to just. I think it's definitely winning in the long term to just stab at those paired plops. Your opponents aren't going to have much almost ever.
Yeah, and when you do it with a donk, even better.
Absolutely.
All right, we've got Frankie in the big blind right now with a short stack. Let's see how much pressure they put on him. And Bobby Holiday takes the lead.
That'd be a dream spot for Frankie to wake up with something there, but it looks like he didn't have much.
Yeah. Yeah, you still have to play by hand. You cannot shove with anything there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, you're very likely to get called by one of the two players. Yeah, especially if any two's overcalling the small blind with ace X.
Mm-hmm. It's really interesting in these situations when you have to potentially have to adjust from a deep stack strategy to a short stack strategy, like over a couple of hands back and forth. It's actually very hard to do that.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and it's tough actually. The spot because of the ladders. It's really interesting how you have to adjust your shoving ranges and to your opponents too, because you can get away
Mm-hmm.
with shoving a lot lighter if your opponents are going to call a lot tighter.
Yeah.
Um, but then I don't know how much superstition comes into play, but it definitely always feels bad to shove light and get called by a hand that dominates you or whatever. But
Oh yeah.
you always have to just revert to the best strategy.
Interesting flop here. That's definitely a flop where we could see some action. No? Okay. Any two gets away.
Wow. Just folds an OASD. It does
Mm-hmm.
feel bad to have reverse implied odds on a monotone flop with a straight draw because obviously tier outs um, complete the four to a flush.
Yeah.
We see an open and a shove here. King queen versus nines, classic flip.
Yep.
Queen's ahead on the flop or any two, and if Fergie doesn't improve here, it looks like they're gone. All right,
Yeah.
we're down to
Okay,
three.
but that's how it goes. That's definitely a 100% shove, and that's a good call by any two. And then you
Oh,
just flip the
absolutely,
coin. That's what happens. Well played by both players.
absolutely. Yeah, if I was a betting man, I'd put my money on Die Hard with the tournament uh, background here, having already final tabled and won a tournament. But I think it's really anybody's game with how the stacks are looking right now.
Probably putting my money on Die Hard as well, just by virtue of his aggression. But I could definitely see him making a call too light and then being in a very bad situation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, I
So we're just
apparently,
getting in. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
It's
apparently if Die Hard takes first, he's gonna move past both of us in the rankings in the fish fry. I've kind of taken a break from playing tournaments because I started playing cash on Saturday nights,
Mhm.
live, and so I haven't gotten to play as much. But I do miss it. And I do want to start playing again soon. The tournament is just so fun. Yeah, I guess we're both 5 and 6 in the rankings for this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I won one and I chopped one, something like that. And they're pretty nice sized tournaments. So
Yeah, I think it was exactly the same for me. 1-1, chopped one.
yeah.
Yeah. definitely know SpeedDD, who won like 5 tournaments already this year.
Speedity has been running incredibly well. Like, it was so funny listening to Fats last week talk about how happy she was that he busted and lost because he's been running so well. I mean, kudos to him. He's been crushing.
Yeah, and you
Great.
know there's another reason for that on the Zoom Clubhouse. We always cheer for people who are in the Zoom Clubhouse, and SpeedDD so far has not been one of them. So he's in the enemy camp.
Got it. That's fair. Yeah. So, do you have any live tournaments you're planning on playing or cash games you're planning on playing soon?
I don't really have. I went to a live cash game a couple of times last year, but just 3 or 4 times. I'll definitely plan on going again, but so far I haven't done that. Of course, there is the whole World Series events coming up. Thinking about driving down to Vegas, maybe playing an event,
Yeah, there's
but
some really
nothing
juicy
specific yet.
events coming up. Um, Definitely, especially like the first couple of days. There's the reunion and Colossus. I think I probably will end up playing those if I'm in town.
Mhm. What's the buy-in and structure there, or
I
what's
think
the turnout usually?
uh, I'm not the best person to ask because I started playing poker in September 2019, and
Hmm.
then COVID hit, so I've never been to the World Series live. But
Yeah,
they're $500 and $600 buy-ins and huge prize pools. I know Ryan DePaulo, if you're familiar with him, he's a poker vlogger, won in 2019. Or he got like fourth in the Colossus, and I think he had like a 200 something thousand dollar score. So
nice.
there's a lot of entrants. It's a huge field. Um, I don't think it's as big as the World Series, the main event, but definitely a lot of money to be won. Yeah, they're doing a new tournament structure that just started in Vegas called the Mystery Bounty, which is really cool.
Hmm.
Where you basically once you bust somebody, it's like a KO tournament. Once you bust somebody, you get a ticket, and then when you bust, you go to this basically like lottery, and you pull out however many envelopes based on how many players you busted, and you get between like 500 and 150 grand. I
Wow.
mean, for this tournament specifically, it was a $1,600
That
tournament.
sounds pretty
So
fun, yeah.
it's pretty sweet. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd love to play one of those. I mean, it just really brings out the degenerate gambler in me.
Yeah. I wonder, so what's your strategy now that you're getting into the GTO side of poker, and that has a lot to do with, over many hands just hitting the right frequencies and making your money that way. But then you go to an event in Vegas, which is, a hit or miss basically. So are you still applying the same GTO based strategy, or will you be making like massive adjustments?
I already do make huge adjustments. I have like I've gone from one side of the spectrum where I was like fully a GTO believer, but
Hmm.
the games that I play in that are so good that you're not going to make as much money playing GTO. I don't know if
Hmm.
you're familiar with Ben CB, but he runs a huge poker training site, and he's one of the biggest. I think he's probably top 25 all-time Hen and Mob tournament winnings.
Hmm.
And he basically said something really poignant that stuck with me, where he said, if you're playing completely GTO, you're basically admitting that you have no edge because so much of your edge comes from exploiting your opponent's tendencies. And so
Yeah.
Um, obviously, I'm mostly like a $5 blind player. I have taken shots at 5-10 in Vegas, but I mostly
Hmm.
play $5 blind day to day in live cash. And the average player is not exploiting, like counter exploiting me enough for me to want to adjust my strategy. I've worked on it a lot with a lot of other players, and we've kind of come to like this pretty successful winning strategy for live cash.
Yeah, I mean, that's so cool that you have a group of players that you can plan with, interact with, and you have that constant feedback loop. That definitely helps a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, but when you're
All right.
playing online, tough online cash games, I mean, if you were to try to like adapt that strategy, you would get absolutely crushed. because everyone online in live cash is very, very, very good.
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right, break over. And Bobby Holiday opening from the button. Gets 2 calls. 3-way pot. We see a lot of these low, disconnected, kind of dry flops.
I know I'm looking forward to that juicy 8 queen 9 two-tone
Yep.
top set versus straight versus flush draw.
Bobby Holiday, after the other 2 players have checked, puts in that c-bet and gets
Takes
the
it down.
fold.
Yeah, great board to see bet too, just in position as a pre-flop aggressor. Your opponents really can't have that much there outside of like one pair type hands very often.
We see different opening sizes coming out from the players. Die Hard usually opening 2.5. Bobby Holiday, we just saw him open 2x. None of the players really opening 3 or 4x, which would be a big open with these blinds.
Yeah, I've seen it for sure, and it's always surprising, but you know, it doesn't seem to affect the game that much. All from their perspective.
Big bet on the river from Bobby Holiday. Die Hard definitely has no flush, otherwise he would snap call. Oh, interesting.
I'm sure Bobby's thinking the same thing.
So what do you do that with? What do you raise with here? Is that the flush? Wow.
If I'm raising there for value, I think I'm jamming. But I don't know what diehard strategy looks like there, you know?
Yeah,
Obviously King Queen came in. I wonder if I'm raising King Queen for value. Probably.
yeah,
I think I would because it's just so unlikely your opponent's gonna have a backdoor flush there.
yeah. That's a good point.
That looks like I would say it's most likely a river 2 pair or the Broadway.
And Bobby Holiday probably was sitting on an ace
Yep.
and finds the fold.
This is definitely quite a big pot. Tough spot for any two for sure if they just have a one pair.
Yeah, don't hate the fold there. I feel like either you fold or you shove there.
Yeah,
It's fine
versus
to
that
fold.
sizing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Die Hard definitely turning up the temperature here even more. You see,
Yeah, with this.
yeah, he almost doesn't, like every opportunity he opens or raises.
I think it's a great strategy. It's gonna take him far, and he's got almost a 3x chip lead because of it for sure. So, all right, 4-3-3 two-toned. Any two stabbing with Ace X and Bobby Holiday shipping there takes it down. Well played. The other thing I really love about final tables is it really brings out the A game in everyone. Everyone's just hyper focused when you're on the final table trying to make the best play that they can, pick their spots
Oh
well.
yeah, that's a good point. Definitely. Yeah, yeah. And usually most of the tables that we play on the fish fry are those full ring, 9-max, type tables. So it's very rare to see these players in a short-handed situation, short-handed, short stacked. So that's pretty interesting in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely tougher to adjust from going from 200 blind 9 max to 3-handed with, I guess, any two has 20 blinds here. I mean, it's a big, big
Mhm.
difference. Oh, so how do you think you're adjusting here being in die hard spot when they're in
Definitely.
the small blind? What does your range look like there? And do you ever adopt a limping strategy from the small?
I usually don't. I usually don't adapt the limping strategy from the small blind. It just puts you play out of position and it caps your range so much. I personally, I really don't like it. I have a open range of hold basically from the small blind.
Yeah.
I know there is players that like to limp from the small blind, and I know that I think there is based on GTO, you should have a limping range from the small blind. I don't know what's the current verdict, but yeah, I definitely don't like it, and it's fine. I've looked at it. I remember, you know, a couple of months ago, I looked at this, and the difference between having a limping range and playing pure open or fold was so tiny in EV that I just told myself, my open or fold is fine, and I've stuck to that ever since.
Yeah, I love taking simplifications like that. Oh, we
Yeah.
kind of see a interesting pot here.
Hmm.
Diehard C bets his monotone flop, any two, pretty short. Min clicks, diehard calls, and then checks a turn.
Holds the 10.
All right. Kind of like a probe, see where I'm at, bet,
Yeah.
returning in, potentially value from higher diamonds, flush draws, but yeah, I got scared of that king and decided to give that one up.
Yeah, don't hate that fold there. Yeah, now
Yeah,
we've got a more clear chip distribution. Now we've got our short stack with any two, we've got our chip leader with Die Hard, and we've got Bobby Holiday sitting in the middle.
yeah, I need to definitely having some pressure, only having about 12 blinds after their big blind here. We already see them taking more aggressive moves, but get to walk. Definitely always take those when you're short.
And show the 7-2 off.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I started my like poker studying, reading Jonathan Little's basically opening strategy and not realizing that it was going to be different for tournaments and cash, because obviously in a raked cash game you would never want to have a limping strategy because
Mhm.
they're going to take $5 on the flop and you're going to be left with $2 in the pot.
Yeah,
Um, oh wow, really big hand here. Any deuce opens, Bobby Holiday shoves,
I
and
expect you get called from any two. That's interesting.
yeah, I would always be oof.
Ooh.
Shows ace three.
I think probably it was a good fold. Probably he was beaten there. Maybe he was playing like best case against the pocket pair, which you don't really want to play against. So yeah.
I completely agree. And then, but adjusting, I would either open or fold that ace three off. It does hurt to fold that for sure on the button,
Yeah.
three-handed with with like 20 blinds, but or 10 blinds. Yeah, these heads up pot between the two deepest stacks are definitely going to be interesting to traverse with any two having such a short stack and having that huge ladder there, just waiting for any two to
Mhm.
potentially bust.
Yeah, that's where I find myself making the most mistakes, being in that when there is another short stack and I have I'm medium to close to chip lead, and then you make some stupid mistake because you feel like you can get a little loose. It's so bad.
Those mistakes really hurt.
Yeah, they
They
really
do.
do.
And they add up a lot. You definitely don't want to give up your middle stack to the short stack
Yeah.
uh, when you're in those situations. Yeah, there's so much value in holding that. I mean, especially Bobby Holiday here having a 4.5x chip lead on any two. So much
Hmm.
pressure on any two right now um, to find a hand to get it in with.
Yeah, let's see. It was just a limb from Die Hard, so his range is pretty capped. Any two pots it.
Yeah, we've definitely seen Die Hard play all of their strongest hands pretty aggressively. So to
Hmm.
see them take a limp, more passive approach definitely would heavily cap their range there.
Rejects, not expecting a lot of action here.
Absolutely not. That is an action killer for sure, and a great card for Die Hard to stab on facing two
Hmm.
checks from Bobby Holiday. I think Bobby is going to have some traps there, but it's pretty hard to have a good hand on 7 Jack Jack Jack.
Yep.
Oh, and we do see a trap here from Bobby Holiday.
Classic.
Limp min click to like 30x overbet jam.
I probably snap fold there. That just screams like queens or better.
Die Hard's been very capable of making some like calls. So
Oh yeah.
if anyone's capable, it's Die Hard, but they lay it down.
Right, another three-way pot. Haven't seen those in a while.
Yeah, those are pretty exciting. Really anything can happen. I mean, that nine's a pretty interesting card as well. I think Die Hard is thinking here, how often is any two leading for this size on the river
Hmm.
with a bluff? Uh, and I guess they decided it wasn't that often. I wonder if any two stabs that turn for that sizing, that small sizing with the flush draw.
Yeah. Bobby, I believe, hasn't opened in a while. He definitely likes to limp more than open.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be scary having Die Hard to your direct left here.
All right, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Being such an aggressive player. And we have seen Bobby take a do some trapping too, so I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if they're just kind of like limping their full range, most of their range here.
Any2 gets away with another step. He's been
Nice.
successful with those definitely over
Oh
the
yeah.
last fast of hands. Yeah. Catching up a little to Bobby Holiday, only being having a what is that, 2x lead over Any2 is Bobby Holiday.
They've almost doubled up from their low. Snap call from Any2. Sometimes my opponents call so fast, I wonder if they have the call any button
Mm-hmm.
selected.
Interesting turn card here. Another small bet from Die Hard. And Die Hard checks, not putting more pressure on Any2. Takes it down with the jack.
Yeah, Any2 just drawing in that hand, I assume.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if he would have gotten a fold if he jams there on the river from Die Hard's check. Die Hard has been calling pretty light, but yeah, you never know.
But that's a really bad card for sure.
Yeah.
All the ace X of diamonds gets there. Obviously,
Yeah.
Any2 could just really have a king that they slip in on the turn. Open shove for what looks like six and a half, 7 blinds here.
Definitely like that. I think you don't have a simple opening range anymore. You play shove or fold. Okay, that if you have aces, that makes
Yeah,
it easier.
makes it way easier. Oh, we see from Fish Fry TV coming to the chat that Any2 should have shoved that river.
Yeah, okay, it's obviously easy to say after you see
Exactly.
the jack, but I've been thinking about it during the hand as well. I wouldn't have hated the shove there. So yeah, how often are you running into a king or an ace? Like Die Hard has been betting pretty small, and he has been checking the river. So yeah,
Yeah, I think I do like shove there. I mean, it depends on what their hand is, obviously, but with no showdown value, it's pretty tough. All right, we see an all-in and a call. Queens versus 10-9. Not a great
Queen's
spot.
well
You
ahead.
never know what happens. All right, oh, they're dead on the turn, and we're gonna see Bobby Holiday scoop. And Die Hard and Bobby Holiday heads up. Congratulations.
Congratulations and well played, Any2, taking a third place.
Absolutely.
All right, now we get to the interesting heads up game
Yeah,
where
I'd love to see it.
so volatile. I always love it when you see these strategy adjustments from over 2 or 3 hands from players. It's always fun to see how fast they adapt and what they choose to adapt.
Oh yeah, right off the bat, first hand, we already see a 63K pot getting taken down by Queen, basically no kicker.
Yeah.
And Die Hard takes a 4x chip lead, so Bobby Holiday's gonna have to make some moves here. This might be a quick final table. You never know. I mean, I've seen a lot of people come back from absolutely nothing
Oh yeah.
in the heads up in the final table.
Yeah, but Die Hard, they definitely have to be your clear favorite at this point with that sizable chip lead.
Absolutely, we see an
And Bobby open shoves.
open, yeah, gets it through. Probably
Blinds
not
are
what
pretty
they wanted.
sizable. If you have a couple of more of those, you're definitely catching up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Bobby Holiday sitting on 10, like 16 blinds right now.
So the difference in the payout between the first and second place is $300 right now. So these two players, playing a $300 pot is basically what it is right now.
Yep.
Which is pretty significant.
Nice pot brewing here. I'm curious to see what Bobby Holiday does on this through to a flush turn. Decides to overbet jam
Yeah, that's a very good size.
and gets pretty much snap called by a jack. And Diehard was
And it's
already
good.
ahead, but they got there. Congratulations
All right, we got our
to
tournament
everyone.
winner, Die Hard, taking $752. Congratulations. Second place, Bobby Holiday, well played with 423. GG's.
Yeah, GG's. Congratulations, everyone. It was great to cast this with you, Daniel, and I'm sure I'll see you in the streets soon here.
Oh yeah, I had a ton of fun. I hope you guys had that as well as the viewers. Feel free to, if you guys want to take your shot at casting, get in touch. It's definitely possible. It's a very nice thing to get on a regular basis. These final table casts, if we can make that happen, that's super cool and a very nice
Absolutely.
addition to the Fish Rye. And
Definitely.
yeah, good night, man. I had a lot of fun. Definitely do it again sometimes.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, everyone. Have a great night. It was a great tournament, and we'll see who takes it down next week.
All right. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.